I keep getting asked about young Moses Itauma fighting Oleksandr Usyk and fighting other big names. And my opinion is not someone who don't know boxing. My opinion is someone who has been there and won every single belt, won everything there is to win in boxing, and done very well. Boxing is a young man's game. Like I told Vladimir Klitschko when he was 37, boxing's a young man's game and it waits for nobody. So here's the opinion, you've heard it here first. Moses Itauma will wreck all them old men out of the division. Usyk, AJ, Miller, whoever there is who's old, Zhang, fucking whoever else there is, Luis Ortiz, all these big names of the past are all a spent force. And even the world champion now, if they took my belts and give them to Usyk, Moses will wreck him. Because he's a young man versus an old man.
It's good, y'all. So I just got done watching this video of Tyson Fury. Looks like he's training, preparing for his fight. Apparently, he's coming back to the sport of boxing next year. Turkey Usyk wants him back in the ring. He wants him to fight Usyk again next year. And it's obvious that he's coming out of retirement, right? Like, he keeps telling people that he's going to stay retired. He's lying. If you go on Tyson Fury's Instagram, he literally uploads videos almost every day, training, running, you know, staying in shape. This guy is not retired, right? So anyway, he was talking about Moses Itauma, and he was just completely glazing the guy, right? He said that because Moses Itauma is only 20 years old, he said that he thinks that Moses Itauma would pretty much beat everybody, right? He said he would beat AJ, he would beat Luis Ortiz, he would beat the shit out of Oleksandr Usyk. He just completely jumped out the window and just said a bunch of blasphemy that I completely disagree with. But you know who he didn't say that Moses Itauma would beat? Tyson Fury didn't say Moses Itauma would beat him. And I found that very funny. And it just goes to show that because Tyson Fury lost twice to Oleksandr Usyk, right? And he's no longer undefeated, I think that he just wants to see somebody beat Usyk. And I don't think he believes what he's saying, bro. I don't. I think Tyson Fury thinks the only person that can beat Usyk is him. Do you guys honestly think that he thinks a 20-year-old kid that hasn't really proven anything yet can beat the best guy, the best heavyweight boxer, the #1 pound-for-pound boxer in the world, Oleksandr Usyk? You guys honestly believe Tyson Fury believes that? You honestly believe that? Fuck no. Tyson Fury is jealous of Oleksandr Usyk. He hates the fact that he lost to him twice. He hates the fact that he's no longer undefeated. And he desperately wants to see somebody beat Usyk. And he's just talking out of his ass, bro. Like I said, he's clearly coming out of retirement next year. Turkey Usyk pretty much confirmed that he spoke with Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury promised him and gave him his word that he's coming back to the sport of boxing next year. And we are most likely going to see Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. And if Fury wins that fight, which I don't know who will win that fight, honestly, but if Fury wins, you're going to see the third fight between Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk, just like you saw 3 fights between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. It's already set up. The guy is clearly training to come out of retirement, bro. If he wasn't, he wouldn't be jogging every day, posting all of these videos, and every time you guys notice, every time there's a heavyweight fight, he posts a video the next day, jogging in the morning, talking about. He did the same thing when Usyk fought Dubois. And he had words of encouragement for Daniel Dubois. He said absolutely nothing positive about Usyk. He only had good things to say about Dubois. Because once again, he's jealous of Oleksandr Usyk because he lost to him twice. But let's be honest, guys. Even before the loss to Usyk, it was obvious that Fury was going to lose at some point. What he should have did was, after that third fight with Wilder, he should have retired. But he decided to keep fighting. Took a fight with Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou dropped. I think he dropped Fury twice, right? And many people like myself think that Francis Ngannou won that fight. But luckily the judges saved him and he ended up winning. I think he won the fight by a split decision or something like that. You look at it, even if you look at the fights with Wilder, bro, like he got dropped so many times in that fight. I think he should have lost the first fight. He ended up winning the second and third fight. There was a lot of controversy behind that, but we're not going to get into that, right? Because we're going to leave the past in the past, right? But what I'm saying is it was obvious that Tyson Fury was slowing down even before his first fight with Usyk. I think Usyk clearly won the first fight. I think the second fight could have been a draw, or it could have went either way. But I mean, it is what it is, man. Now let's talk about Moses Itauma, right? Listen, Moses Itauma, I don't want this kid to ruin his career before he's even 21, right? Moses Itauma, I don't think that he's shown anything for people to believe that he can beat Usyk, right? You just beat a 37-year-old Dillian White who already had 3 losses, has already been knocked out more than once before you stepped in the ring with him. But like I said, the fact that Moses Itauma knocked him out in the first round is extremely impressive. I have to give credit where it's due, right? But at the end of the day, there's so many other fights that Moses Itauma can take to help him prepare for fighting Usyk. Now, the problem with that is because Oleksandr Usyk is 39 years old, there's a high possibility that he's going to retire after next year, right? Like, I think 2026 is going to be the last year that we see Usyk fight. I think after next year, Usyk is going to retire, right? So I don't think Moses is ready yet. I know he thinks he's ready. I know his team thinks he's ready. I know the fans want to see him fight Usyk. But what I don't like about boxing fans is how many times have us boxing fans, how many times have we made this mistake where we see a fighter that's on an upward trajectory, right? And then once they lose, we throw them away, right? Let's talk about Devin Haney, right? Let's be honest. Before Devin Haney fought Ryan Garcia, and I'll even say before he fought Lomachenko, everybody was saying that Devin Haney was the next Floyd Mayweather, right? Everybody was saying that Devin Haney was the next Floyd Money Mayweather, right? Had a close fight with Lomachenko, the boxing fans threw him away. Had a fight with Ryan Garcia where Ryan Garcia was on PEDs, the boxing fans threw him away. Now, you know, a majority of boxing fans, they shit on Devin Haney when he's out here taking the most riskiest fights out of everybody in his league, right? Like, nobody else in Devin Haney's league, whether it's Tank or Shakur, none of these guys are taking dangerous fights like Devin Haney is. Let's just call it what it is. Teofimo Lopez ain't doing it either. Let's just call it what it is, right? He's a prime example of, you know, him having a close fight or you know, a situation where he lost or whatever the case is, and boxing fans throw him away. Gervonta Tank Davis. You look at Gervonta Tank Davis's most recent fight against Lamar Roach Jr. Fight ended in a draw. He took a knee. Boxing fans throw him away, right? This is what I'm talking about. If Moses Itauma actually does fight Oleksandr Usyk next, and Oleksandr Usyk completely dominates him, whether he wins by decision or whether he knocks him out, boxing fans are going to throw this young man away. Even though he's only 20 years old, even though he has his whole career ahead of him, I've seen this story before, bro. Boxing fans will throw this kid away. So if I'm the person that's dictating who Moses Itauma fights next, I would not have him fight Oleksandr Usyk. I think that's a setup. Fuck no. I don't care if Turkey Al-Sheikh offers him $50 million, I wouldn't take it. Because all it takes is one fight to slow down your momentum, to hurt your confidence, and to destroy your career. And his career is literally just getting started. There's so many other fights out there for Moses Itauma that he can take. You know, he could fight Jared Anderson. He could fight Flip Herkovic, who just won against David Adelaide. He can fight what's the other guy's name, bro? That Gerald Miller was supposed to fight, the UK guy. What's the guy's name, man? I can't remember his name. Hold on, let me Google it real quick, y'all. My bad. I'm trying to think of the UK guy that Fabio Wardley. There we go. He could fight Fabio. I think that'll be a really a tough fight for most of the time. If he can go in there and just completely dominate Fabio Wardley, I think that'll be incredible, bro. Because Fabio Wardley is a fucking beast, bro. This dude just goes in there and knocks everybody out, bro. You know what I'm saying? He has one fight that ended in a draw against Fraser Clark, came back and put a dent in his head. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm talking about, bro. Like, there's so many other fights out there for this kid before you just jump the gun and have him get his ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? You could even throw him in there with Joseph Parker. You know, Joseph Parker, he wanted to get a rematch with Dillian White if Dillian White was able to win. We haven't really heard anything positive about Oleksandr Usyk fighting Joseph Parker next. Joseph Parker did an interview and he straight up said that he doesn't even think he's going to fight Oleksandr Usyk. He thinks that Usyk is going to pick a fight out there that makes more money than him. So, you know, he could fight Joseph Parker, you know. But listen, Moses Itauma needs to fight 2 more big names, right? He could even fight a Daniel Dubois, right? Daniel Dubois is coming off a loss to Usyk. Have him fight Daniel Dubois. If he can beat Daniel Dubois or if he can beat a Fabio Wardley, okay, now you put him in the ring with Oleksandr Usyk. But don't just rush this kid because he beat an old-ass, washed-up-ass Dillian White, bro. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't ruin this kid. You know what I'm saying? The kid's just getting started. Let him cook. I mean, this kid hasn't even had a fight that has went past 5 rounds. So, you know, that's what happened with Edgar Berlanga. His first 16 fights, I think he knocked people out within the first, 3, 4, 5 rounds. And then once he went the distance, he got put on his ass. And he was never the same after that. You understand what I'm saying? Now, another thing I want to say is I take back what I just said. I'm not going to say that Dillian White was washed, but he was knocked out twice. He was knocked out 3 times before he fought Moses Itauma, right? He was knocked out by AJ. He was knocked out by Alexander Povetkin, but he came back and knocked Povetkin out. And he was knocked out by Tyson Fury, right? After that, he had 3 wins. He won a close fight with Jermaine Franklin. He beat Christian Hamber. He beat Ebenezer Tedith. I don't know who the fuck that is. So it's not like he was just on a losing streak before he lost to Moses Itauma. What I'm saying is he was old and he was already battered. So I don't think Moses Itauma should fight Usyk next. I don't think Moses Itauma would beat Usyk next. I think Moses Itauma needs to get at least 2 or 3 more fights with guys that have big names, guys that are proven, before we just throw him into the fire with the big dog. You know what I'm saying? What I will say is the advantage he does have is his age, right? He's only 20 years old. Oleksandr Usyk is 39. By the time they fight, he'll probably be 40. So that is an advantage that Moses Itauma has. He's the young lion going up against the battered lion, right? But Oleksandr Usyk hasn't shown any signs of slowing down. So age doesn't really matter to me. So with that being said, man, let me know what you guys think about this video. It's your boy Wavy, Stay Wavy TV. Make sure y'all subscribe, thumbs up the video. Most importantly, leave a comment. Thank you guys for watching. I'm out.